Euro semifinals, Netherlands versus England. Let's talk about the best picks in this game, as well as some MLB. But first, let's recap last night. And the tacos did not do well. They went 1-3. And the slips I gave out for those tacos also split right here. So you see, I went for a semi and stack with Seager. The Angels were terrified of Seager. They did not let him hit the ball. I believe they intentionally walked him 2 or 3 times, so he didn't even have a chance to hit this ball. If he did, who knows, he could have got a homer just like Semien did. The Johnson pick did hit over in soccer, under 4.5 tackles, cash sweat-free with 1 tackle. So 2-1 on that slip. Unfortunately, the stack didn't hit there. And then also 2-1 on this slip with Messi and O'Neal. We got absolutely screwed with the batting order. Abreu ended up batting 7th, I want to say, and O'Neal was batting 3rd. So obviously our correlation did not work anymore, because with that batting order, we had O'Neal in front of Abreu and we had him 4 batting positions in front. So obviously the correlation is completely different from what I initially planned, where O'Neal was supposed to be batting 5th and Abreu expected to bat 3rd. So another 2-1 slip there. Then lastly, I gave out this Kante slip here with the stack on Koundé and Kante. Honestly, I wanted to go with the unders on the Spain players. I know this sounds like a LeBron type of lie, but I genuinely had Laporte on his underpasses and Cucurella on his underpasses prepared for the video. Then I saw Kante got a taco and it was a passing prop. So I said, okay, guys, we might as well correlate that with a France player. And we did only slightly get hooked on this player right here on Koundé. 42 out of 42.5 passes attempted. But Kante did not clear his taco line because he did get subbed off. I don't think anyone really expected him to get subbed off that early. But the other 2 positive EV picks did hit. We got Chouameni on his under fouls, as well as Larin on his under shots. It's just unfortunate that the taco prop had to be a pass attempted prop, because I was going to go with something completely different. But anyways, we'll get on to today. And I'm going to be going with a double under on this England stack here. John Stones and Declan Rice. And I'm noticing something a bit strange here in the lineup. If we go over to Sports Gambler, you're going to see they actually have him projected to be playing left mid instead of center mid. So I could show you where he played last time. So you could see he played in the center of the pitch with Kobe Mainoo here, and then Trippier was playing at that left mid position. But today the expected lineup is Declan Rice left mid, and Kieran Trippier is expected to play in the center midfield position. That is great for us when you're grabbing an under. If this actually happens to be the real lineup, it's currently 11:21 a.m. Eastern. The lineup only gets confirmed at like 2 p.m. So I don't know exactly. But if Rice actually ends up playing left mid, I think the 69.5 line is definitely way too high. Lateral players are definitely going to be getting way less passes. And we see it with Saka. His line is normally set at like 35 passes or something. He's not here today, but those players are definitely going to be less utilized, especially if you're not playing on that side of the pitch. But honestly, I'm not betting on the fact that he's going to be playing left mid. I'm just betting on the fact that I think this line is too high. Same thing with Stones. You're going to see in the past games, he did clear this versus Switzerland. He did clear it versus Slovakia. But both of these games went to extra time. Versus both Slovakia and Switzerland, Declan Rice did play the full 120 minutes. You can see in these other games that were only 90 minutes, Slovenia and Denmark, he did clear the unders. And Netherlands is a better team than every team in this list right here. Switzerland, Slovakia, Slovenia, Denmark, and Serbia. So that means I expect a higher press from Netherlands, which they do very well. And I expect more even possession. Now, the one thing that could screw us over is if this game does go to extra time. And it is decently likely that it goes to extra time. You can see the tie is at plus 180. England is the most likely to take it in the 90 minutes. And then we got Netherlands at plus 210. But at the same time, I can't ignore where these passes are set at. If we go over to England, you're going to see Declan Rice is supposed to be set at 66.5. We're getting him at 69.5. And again, every pass is going to matter. You could see just yesterday, we lost by 1 pass on Koundé. So we definitely want as many passes in our favor. You can see 71.5 is set at plus 150. That's only a 5 pass differential from 66.5. And it's a massive difference in payout. So 69.5 versus 66.5. That's 3 passes of all we're getting there. Then on John Stones, set at 74.5 on Prizepicks. He is set at 70.5 on Bet365. Again, 75.5 is plus 150. So 74.5 might be around like plus 125-ish. That is great to see. So not only these guys juice towards the under, they're extremely correlated together. Let's look at John Stones, how he did in the previous games. Only versus Slovakia did he absolutely clear this line. Again, this game went up to extra time, and they scored within like the first minute of extra time. So they had a lot of time to burn and get those extra passes. Switzerland, who is a harder matchup than Slovakia, of course. This game did go a full 120 minutes, and he still only got 75 passes here. Then Slovenia is nowhere near in competition to Netherlands, so 88 passes. I'm not worried about that. And then Denmark only got 78 passes. So if this game does end in 90 minutes, I see both of these guys cashing pretty easily. If it does go to extra time, I could still see them cashing depending how extra time goes. If it ends up being like a stalemate, they could still go under. If they end up scoring within like the first 5 minutes of extra time, that might be very bad for our pass attempted. But at the same time, even if they would go up in extra time, I would expect Netherlands to press them pretty heavily and not let them go up to 132 passes like Slovakia did. So that's the first 2 soccer picks I'm going with. And just because there's extra time nowadays with these elimination matches doesn't mean you should necessarily go over on every single prop. Honestly, most times the under is still the play. And we saw that in the Spain versus France game. If you took the unders on either the France team or the Spain team, you would have cashed like I explained at the beginning of the video. So we're going to go with the England unders for tonight. And now we're going to go over the MLB and grab a pretty simple stack here. We're going to go with Aussie on his over 1.5 total bases. And we're stacking this up with Ozuna on his over 1.5 total bases. Now, you guys know I like to stack in MLB, but this is not as clear as a stack as like hits, runs, RBIs with runs. This is honestly not that correlated, but I liked these players on an individual basis, so I said I might as well throw them within the same entry. We don't get a payout nerf or anything, so if I'm liking Ozzy on his own on his total bases, and I'm liking Ozuna on his own on his total bases, I might as well combine them into the same slip, and that's exactly what I'm doing here. And the correlation essentially comes from the Braves doing well. So if the Braves are doing well as a whole, then both of these guys are at the top of the order. Ozzy is batting second and Ozuna is batting third. So if the batters at the end of the order are also doing well, that means Ozzy and Ozuna are more likely to get their 4th at bat and potentially a 5th at bat. And if both of these guys are getting an extra at bat, that's an extra opportunity for both of them to go over their total bases once again. So those rely on the whole Braves team doing well, but you could see how there's some correlation. It's honestly nothing crazy, but I do think it's worth throwing into the entry. And Ozzy does have beautiful juice towards the over -134. So as I said, this is a good pick on its own, but you might as well go and stack it up with Ozuna, who also has juice towards the over here at -128. A bit of a worse pick than Ozzy, but definitely still good enough to throw into the stack. This is going to be the full slip, an England stack and a Brave stack. Let's lock this one in.